Can you see the screen? Now listen. Okay. See, computer is made up of many components or parts. Each component performs a specific task. All components work together to operate the computer system. I know that you guys won't follow if I talk to you like this. Before starting, let me tell you a story. Suppose we have a car at home. You know that what is a car? Car consists, when we open the door, the car consists of steering, isn't it? Steering, then we have seats, clutch, brake, accelerator. Haven't you seen all that? So, car is nothing but a hardware device. What is a car? A hardware device. So, full car is nothing but a hardware device. So, if you want to ride the car, we need either we should know driving or we need a driver to ride the car, isn't it? So, we have a car. As I told you, car is nothing but a hardware device in which we have the steerings, accelerator, brake, everything, isn't it? And the gear also. I think you all have seen the inside part of a car. So, car is nothing but a piece of hardware. So, as such, car cannot drive itself till now. So, we need somebody who knows the driving to ride the steering, gear, press the accelerator, brake and clutch. So, we need a driver to drive the car. What is the use of that in this particular section? Why I am talking about car in computers, I will tell you. The driver is like the operating system or the software which works with the hardware. Understood? With the driver we can say that, see in the right, please stop. So what he does, he parks the car in the particular section and in the right he will park so that we can get out there. Or if you are going with your father, you can say, see that bakery, please stop, or see go to that ice cream parlor, I want to get an ice cream. See, you have to mute all your audios. Please do that, mute your audios. Nobody should talk in between. So, as such, 1 minute. You should mute all your audios. And see, car is a piece of hardware, and when we have a driver, we can say that just stop it there, here and there. So what happens? He will stop you in the right, in the left, etc., etc. When he stops, we can get out there. Yes or no? So like that, even computer is a piece of hardware in which we have so many components. There are visible and invisible components. Visible components are the things that we see when we see a computer. If you have a laptop, we know that we have a keyboard, isn't it? That is a visible component where you can input the values. Then when you input, what happens? You get the display through the screen, the output device, which is the monitor. If you have a desktop, we have the keyboard, processor and the monitor, everything together. If you have a laptop, we can see, what we can visibly see is the keyboard and the monitor or the screen. But the processor, everything is there behind, understood, that we are not seeing. So, in the case of computers, there are so many components which work together. That is how computer works. So, like the car with the driver. Driver is the operating system or the software. We give all instructions through the software, and when we give instructions through the software, what happens is the corresponding operating system takes up the instruction and it gives the instructions to the processor. So that you guys won't understand now, that's why I told you all this. See, what you have to understand is computer is nothing but a piece of hardware in which we have input, output and processing device. All these components together work so that we can get the correct output for whatever instructions we give. So computer consists of so many components. That is what it is given. A computer system is made up of many components or many parts. Computer system is made up of many parts that you have to learn, understand. Understood? You have to follow also. You can repeat if you want. Computer system is made up of many components or parts. Computer system is made up of many components or parts. That is the input device, which is a keyboard. Then we see the monitor, which is the output unit. Then we have the processor. If you are using a laptop, the processor all are there inside. It is all inbuilt. If you are using a desktop, we can see a tower CPU in which the processor are all inbuilt. So computer works with so many components, and each component perform a specific task. All these components work together to operate a computer system. As we know that we have parents at home, isn't it? Grandparents, parents, everyone. So in order to make the house work smoothly, what happens? Father and mother is working together. They work in the office. They come in and they do the cooking, everything together, isn't it? So when everything works together, when we work as a team, family runs very smoothly, isn't it? So for what is your part there, you have to sit and learn so that you can reduce their tension and pressure. Understood? So whatever I am teaching now, you have to learn now itself. Don't keep it for another day. So I'll repeat once more for you. A computer system is made up of many components or parts. A computer system is made up of many components or parts. All these components work together so that the computer can perform the task very well. So all these components together makes a computer system, and all components work together to operate a computer system. So I hope it is clear. So a computer consists of so many components. All the components will work together. That is how computer functions. I hope it is clear. Now, so as I told you earlier, we have the processor, then the monitor, then the printer, which is again an output device, the keyboard, scanner, and the speaker. Now, let me tell you one thing. Listen, what is a hardware? Hardware is nothing but a component that we can touch and feel. So I am a hardware which I can touch and feel. If you guys were sitting in front of me, I would have touched you. We all are hardware. Components which we can touch and feel is called a hardware. Physically tangible part. What is physically tangible part? Something which we can move from one place to another. That is called a hardware. See, if you have a tower CPU in front of you, what you can do is just see. All the devices that are attached behind the CPU are called peripheral devices. What are they called? Peripheral devices. They are all hardware, including the CPU. It is a hardware. Understood? So what is a hardware? It is a physically tangible part, or the movable part of a computer. It's called a hardware which we can touch and feel. Hardware is a movable part of the computer which we can touch and feel is called a hardware. See, all the hardware devices are attached to behind the CPU. Now, even if you have a laptop, we can see that there are ports in the side of the laptop. Just see, there are ports like this in the side of the laptop, in which we attach all the peripheral devices like the mouse, keyboard, etc. So, hardware is physically tangible part. Physically tangible part or movable part of a computer is called a hardware. Something which we can touch and feel is called a hardware. The movable part of computer is called a hardware which we can touch and feel, and all these hardware devices are attached to the CPU. Behind the CPU, everything is attached. That is why I have shown you this. These are all called ports. These are called ports, P-O-R-T-S, through which all the devices, all the peripheral devices, all the hardware devices are attached to the computer. So, computer hardware is nothing but physically tangible part or movable part of a computer is called a hardware, something which we can touch and feel. Now, all these hardwares are attached to the CPU through the ports. All the hardware devices are attached to the CPU through the ports. That's why I have given here. I have shown this to you. See, there are ports for speaker. There are ports to attach pen drives, then even mouse. Then there are ports to attach keyboards, printers, etc. So all these ports are there. Even in the side of your laptops, you can see all these ports where we can attach the hardware devices or the peripheral devices. Now, as such, we can say that the hardware component of the computers are input device, output device and the CPU. So what is the hardware? Input, output and the CPU. Various hardware components are make up a computer system and can be broadly divided into three: input, output and the processor, which is the CPU box. So hardwares are broadly divided into three: input, output and the CPU or the central processor. So the various components are, computer is made up of various components and they can be classified into three: input, output and the processor. Now let us see about the input devices. See, what is an input device? I'll tell you. Suppose if I ask you to print a hi, you will print it, isn't it? Now itself you can go to a chat box and print hi. So how will you do it? You do it through a keyboard, isn't it? Just pressing hi. What happens? Hi will appear in the monitor. Yes or no? So input devices are used to give instructions to the computer through mouse, through keyboard and so many other input devices. So to give instructions to the computer, we use an input device. As your mother is an input device, always giving instruction. Sit straight in the for class, don't look here and there, write the notes, eat, get up early in the morning, brush your teeth, everything she says, isn't it? She gives you all the instructions. Like this, we can give instructions to the computer through the keyboard. So we give instructions to the computer through the keyboard, mouse and so many input devices. I'll teach you all the input devices. But one thing you have to know, what is an input device? Input devices through which we give data and instructions to the computer. So all data and instructions are given to the computer through input device. Data and instructions are given to the computer through which device? Input device. Okay, the data entry tasks are carried out by the input device. We have already know that the keyboard, mouse, scanners are all input device. So we give instructions to the computer through input device. I hope you guys know computer system consists of input, output and the processor. We give instructions to the computer through input devices. The most commonly used input device is the keyboard, mouse. That is what we use every day. We use the keyboard and the mouse. Then we have the output devices also that we'll be talking about in the coming classes. Now, about the hardware, as I told you, hardware is the movable part of the computer. Something which we can move is called a hardware. In the computers, the movable part of the computer is called a hardware. The mouse we can move, the keyboards we can move, the processor we can move. So they are called the hardware. The movable part of the computer is called the hardware. See, now let us see about the input-output devices. Input devices are the keyboard, optical pen, joystick, scanner, barcode reader, digital camera, pen drive, touch screen, webcam. So these are all input devices and there are output devices also. Now let us see about all this. So input devices mainly is keyboard, joystick, optical, pen, scanner and web camera. So first of all, let us deal with the joystick. What a joystick do? How it appears. I brought a video to show you how joystick appears. So let us watch a video now. Okay, come. Joystick. See how to use a joystick. See, listen. Can you all see this video? I'll show you. See, here the joystick is actually used to play games. So they have given so many controls, how to use the joystick. All the controls are there showing. Now let me see how they are using it. See, now listen. See, they are controlling using the joystick. See, the left, right button. It is a stick-like thing. See how she controls it? The They are using the mouse as well as the joystick. Then what happens? See, the images move on the screen. See, just by pressing there, the images are moving on the screen. Are you all seeing it? So joystick is used to play games. Just by pressing the switches, the images are moving on the screen. So this is called an input device. Like the mouse, we can give instruction through a joystick also. I hope you all have played with the joystick in the malls, isn't it? In the malls, we have a joystick to play, to control the cars on the screen, isn't it? There are car games in which we control using this joystick. See, it has got a stick-like thing which we can move right, left, forward, and there are buttons also like mouse, which when we press, the thing move on the screen. So it is again an input device, just like a mouse, where we can control using these buttons. So I hope it is clear. See how he is using the joystick? Are you seeing? Joystick and how he is controlling the vehicle using the joystick. So this is how a joystick works. I hope it is clear. Now, so let us go back to the class then. Okay. It will come, huh? Okay. Now listen. So joystick is an input device, as I told you earlier. It is used to change the position of the cursor or other object on the screen. Joysticks are used for playing video games. That's what I showed you. See, this is a joystick where we can change the position of the images on the screen. See, we saw that a lady is moving the joystick and the image is moving on the screen. The same thing you would have done while going to the malls, isn't it? While going to the mall and in the PlayStation, we can play with the joystick. When we move the joystick, the image will move on the screen. Haven't you all seen this? So this is a joystick in which it is an input device which can be used to move images on the screen, or the cursor on the screen can be moved with the help of a joystick. So it is an input device which is used to move the images or cursor on the screen. It is actually used for playing games. That is what I showed you. So I hope it is clear. Joystick is an input device which is used to change the position of the cursor or other object on the screen. Joysticks are popularly used for playing video games. So it is an input. What is a joystick? It is an input device which is used to play games. It is used to move the cursor on the screen. It is commonly used input, and it is used to move the objects on the screen, and it is popularly used for playing video games. So one more time, which is the input device that we learn now? Joystick. With moving the joystick, you can move the objects on the screen, whatever cars or plane, anything that is on the screen. We can attach a joystick and play with a joystick. It is used to move the object on the screen, same like that of a mouse. And it is popularly used for playing games. So the next one is the light pen. Now let us see what is the use of a light pen. I brought a video for light pen also. I thought let you see it and learn. See, listen here, the light pen is used to draw objects on the screen. How it appears? Let me tell you. 1 minute, I brought a video for light pen also. Wait, see how the light pen appears? Let us see. See, a fellow using a light pen, he is drawing directly on the screen. Can you see that? See, did you see this? See, they can play, they can see, animate. They are drawing directly on the screen. Are you seeing how nice it is, isn't it? Using a light pen, we can draw directly on the screen. Now they can animate it also. Now I'll show you how they animate. See how beautifully they are drawing? This is a light pen in which they can draw directly on the screen. I wanted to show you all this actually, what these devices are. See, they are animating it. See, that thing is moving. So with a light pen, we can draw directly on the screen and we can animate it also. So that is about light pen. If you want, I'll just show you how they have animated it once more. See, animate. Did you see? They have drawn directly on the screen. Saurabh, are you seeing? Are you seeing? I hope Saurabh is seeing. Huh? See, they are drawing a picture directly on the screen, and now see something with which we can draw directly on the screen, and we can animate it also. That is what they are showing it. See, after that, see how it got animated. Are you seeing it? So this is the use of light pen, in which it is an input device which can be used to directly draw. We can use this input device to directly draw on the screen. So I hope it is clear. Are you all enjoying the class? Yes, what? Now, light pen is an input device. That's why I showed you. It is shaped like a pen. A light pen is connected to the video. That is, it is connected to the monitor, visual display unit. It allows the user to draw or point to the objects on the computer screen. We can draw. That is what we see now. We saw. That is what we saw now, just now, that they have drawn an image and they have animated it also. So a light pen is an input device. What is an input device? Again, we have studied another. We studied joystick. Now we are studying about light pen. It is an input device which is used to directly draw on the screen. We can animate that image. See, it is connected to the monitor. See, it is connected to the monitor. We can draw directly on the monitor. We can draw objects on the monitor. After that, what happens? We can animate it also. So that is what is the use of a light pen. It is an input device which is used to draw directly on the monitor. See, a light pen is connected to the monitor. It allows the user to draw directly on the monitor, and see, after that we can animate. So that is actually the use of a light pen. Again, one more input device we have learned. Now the next input device is microphone. For that also I have a video for you. I thought instead of talking, you should see and learn. So I brought a video for that also. So let us see the microphone. What is the use of a microphone? Where is it? Oh, I think this is it. How to use? See here. He has got a microphone, a collar mic actually. See how he is keeping it? Now, and he is connected it to the laptop. This is called a collar mic, where he can speak. See, now he has connected it to the computers. See. So microphones, okay, here microphones can be used to connect directly to the computers, and through which we can speak and we can record the sound and audio, everything, whatever we are talking, we can record. That is actually the use of microphone. Here I am also using a microphone through which I can record my sound. So all the sound will be recorded and it will be sent to you in the evening, isn't it? You are seeing the teacher's audio and video together in the evening. You are getting the class audios and videos. So we are recording it through this microphone, which is attached to the, see, this microphone is attached to the, again to the computer. Here it is the EC board. It is attached to the EC board, so that if we can collect the input, whatever I am speaking, it will be recorded. So that is the use of a microphone. Live use, that is what I am showing you. So microphone is again an input device which is used to record sound, audio, everything. So it gets recorded in the monitor. Here it is getting recorded in the EC board. That is why in the evening you can see my video with the sound. So that is actually the use of a microphone, where we can record our voice sound. Everything can be recorded, and which will be, it is an input device. I am speaking, isn't it? I am inputting the sound. So it gets recorded in the computer. So that is actually the use of microphone, through which we can speak and we can record it. So it is used to input sound into the computer. It helps in recording your voice and other sounds. So the keyboard through which we input the alphabets, isn't it? Letters, words, we input through the keyboard. Like that, we can input our own sound into the computers through the microphone. So we record our sounds into the computer with the help of microphones. So microphones are used, is an input device which is used to record the sound into the computer. I hope it is clear. Like we type in the letters, here I am giving a audio input, so that it will be recorded in the computer, and in the end you can see my video with the sound. So I am recording I am giving an input which is my sound to the computers, which will be recorded. So microphone is used to input sound into the computer. So what is the use of microphone? It is used to input sound into the computer. It helps to record our sounds, voice, etc. Now next one is graphical tablet. For this also I have a video. Okay, let me show you graphical tablet. What is the difference? Because always my students have a confusion with light pen and graphical tablet. I'll tell you, a graphical tablet is a device just like a paper where we can draw and everything will appear in the monitor. But that was very difficult for me to convey for them. So I thought for you I'll bring a video. So this is it. See how it works. So I hope, see, this is a graphical tablet. He is drawing something. Are you seeing it? So that is appearing in the monitor. So now it is clear, isn't it? Light pen, we draw directly. Here, using the graphical tablet, he is drawing and it is appearing on the monitor. So this is an input device through which we can draw. Painters use this graphical tablet. See how it appears. Can you see? Yes? Are you enjoying the class? Is it informative? See, graphical tablet through which he is drawing and it is appearing on the screen. See, whatever he draws appears in the screen. But he is drawing in a device and the thing is appearing in the monitor where we can save the picture. Is it okay with you? So this is the use of a graphical tablet. It is like a paper we can draw, but when we draw the paper on a paper, it will be with us. But here, when we draw on the graphical tablet, it will appear on the monitor. See how beautifully it is appearing. See, this is actually used by painters. Great artists use the graphical tablet. So I'll tell you once more. So we have a graphical tablet. It is an input device which is used to, 1 minute, I'll tell you. I think that video is still working, so we have a problem with the audio here. Let me see, where is it? Let me close it down. Yes. So you won't have any disturbance now. Let me tell you once more. Okay, graphical tablet. Once more. It is an input device. Graphical tablet is an input device. Just like a paper, we can draw pictures with the pencil, or like the pencil we draw on the paper. With stylus, we can draw pictures. That is called stylus, through which we can draw pictures. I told you, he is drawing in the graphical tablet and that is appearing in the monitor also. Graphic tablets are used for capturing signatures, pictures. Actually, it is used by the artist. So the input devices that we learned today is Graphical tablet, it is again an input device which is used to draw, through which we can draw and things will appear on the monitor. So that is the use of a graphical tablet. I'll explain once more. It is a input device. It is used to draw images and pictures on the computer screen. But we are not directly drawing on the computer screen. We are drawing on the graphical tablet and it will appear on the screen. Now, a graphical tablet consists of a flat surface on which the user can draw with a pen-like device called a stylus. And graphical tablets are of great use for capturing handwriting of people. In some cases we need our signatures. So we can use a graphical tablet to type in our signature so that they can capture the signatures also. Now, what was the other thing that we learned? Microphone. What was microphone? It is an input device which is used to record a sound. Then what was the other input device? Light pen, in which we draw directly on the screen and we can animate the object also. That is actually use of a light pen which is actually connected to the monitor, in which we can directly draw on the screen. That I shown you, isn't it? And that you have already seen, in which we can move the object also. That is actually the use of light pen, followed by the joystick. Joystick, in which we can move the cursor right, left, etc. We can move the cursor as well as the object on the screen. Actually, joystick is used for playing games. Joystick is used for playing games, which is used to move the objects on the screen, images on the screen. Like the cursor, like the mouse, we can move the cursor also with the help of a joystick. Now, we learned that we have input devices. What are the input devices? Actually, it is used to input data and instructions to the computer. So we learned about joystick, in which we give instructions to move the objects on the screen. Then we learned about the other input device, which is the light pen, through which we draw. We give instructions by drawing on the monitor. Then the other input device was microphone. We give instruction through the sound. Whatever we speak, it will be recorded. That is another input device. Then we studied about the graphic tablets, in which we can draw, and everything that we have drawn in the tablet will appear on the monitor, which we can save. That is again another input device through which we can give something to the computer. Here, joystick, we give instructions to the computer to move the object, and with light pen, we give instruction to draw something on the monitor. We draw directly on the monitor. Then with microphone, we give instructions to the computer to record our sound. We give instructions in the form of sound only. Speaking, singing, everything will get recorded in the computer through the microphones. Now, the next one is graphical tablet, in which we draw in a device called graphical tablet, and it will appear in the monitor where we can save the image. That is actually the use of graphical tablet. It is used by the artist people. Actually, graphical tablet is used by the graphic artist people. Now, should I repeat once more? So we have gone through the various how to read a map. First one, directions, scale, symbols, colors. So in detail we have gone through what do you mean by directions, then scale, symbols and colors. Okay, next we will see a video. Earliest maps made by the Babylonians in about 600 BC. The first map was created by the Anaximander, a Greek philosopher in the 6th century BC. Yes, you can see this image. A Greek philosopher. The word map comes from the Latin word mappo, which means napkin, cloth or a sheet. The word map from the Latin word which comes from, that is meaning is mappo, which means napkin, cloth or a sheet. Cloth, sheet. Globes and maps are important for our proper understanding of Earth. You can see the image, globe and a map. They help us to locate place easily. We can locate the places very easily using map. Globes and maps have greatly helped in the field of navigation. The ships and all, when they go, and even while driving also we can find out the places. Types of maps. We have maps in different types: physical maps, political maps, thematic maps, climate maps or climatic maps we can say, economic map, topographic maps, road maps, location maps. There are various maps, we have gone through it. Okay. Physical maps. India physical map. Maps that highlight that physical features of an area such as mountains, rivers and lakes are called physical maps. Physical maps. You can see, yes, rivers, ranges are represented, and these are the scale, and it shows the sea depth in meters. Yes, different colors also are used to represent in the Indian physical map. Useful to mountaineers and pilots. It is very useful for the mountaineers and the pilots. Political map indicates the state, national boundaries, capital and major cities. Political maps indicates the state, national boundaries, yes, and even capital city marks with a star within a circle. You can see this is the capital city Delhi, and others are, this is highlighted through star, and other one capitals are highlighted through a small red buttons. Another, that is political map. They clearly show borders of states and countries along with the division and subdivision of continents. Thematic maps. Maps that are made to represent particular information like the climate, tourist places, marks and sanctuaries are called thematic maps. You can see climatic regions, tropical rainy. The blue indicates a tropical rainy, humid subtropical, that is a bluish violet color. You can see over here, this is the tropical rainy. Itanagar, Assam, Shillong, Agartala, Kolkata and all comes on the tropical rainy side. Humid subtropicals are in the violet shade. Srinagar, Shimla, Patna, Bhubaneswar, it comes under humid subtropical. Next, green color represents the tropical savanna, that is in somewhat light color, that is Bhopal, Hyderabad. Mountain is represented by a brown color, there is you can see left. Then steepy, it is in a little more darker shade, that is Jodhpur, Jaipur and all comes in the steepy, and desert you can see it is in a yellow in color, Jaisalmer. It is, yes, you can see a part of it. Okay. Next. Wait a minute. Maps that are made to represent particular information like the climate, tourist place, parks and centuries, etc. are called thematic maps. Yes. Yeah, in this you can see in this map wildlife. Wild sanctuary which is represented by elephant, that is black in color. National park, you can see a deer. Yeah, there are many animals but highlighted only wildlife sanctuary and national park. So they have used the elephant and deer. Okay. You can just go through it. Maps that are made to represent particular information like the climate, tourist place, parks and centuries, etc. are called thematic maps. These also comes under the thematic map. Next slide. Climate maps or climatic maps we can say. Climatic maps, you can see already I explained, even I want to say humid subtropical. Humid subtropical you can see in the Kochi, Thiruvananthapuram and all comes, Panaji and all comes under the humid subtropical. Okay? Yes. Yeah. Annual rainfall, monsoon and all you can see. In this is the annual rainfall and monsoon map. You can see in centimeters it is given. This is a scale used here. Okay. We will not go in much detail in that. Only just generally we will see what are the different types of maps used here. Different colors are highlighted to show various things. Yes. Different colors are used to show different climatic zones. Next is economic maps. Okay. Maps that indicate natural resources or any economic activity in an area called economic maps or resource maps also we will say. Economic maps are resource maps where it is indicated by like a tobacco. Tobacco it is indicated by the blue color, that is in a square shape, pepper, cardamom, chili, ginger, turmeric. So we can see these, they didn't write entire thing words over there. So they use the symbols to represent various things, like where we can find out tobacco is there, where we can see pepper, ginger, turmeric. Okay. So it is easy to understand the map. Yeah, you can see the image. Next slide. Yeah, tobacco, pepper, cardamom, chili, ginger, turmeric. It is represents using different colors. Standard symbols are used to depict information. Yes, these are the various animals and all. Yeah, and it is represented in the various words. So what they do, they can be just shown only the figure of it, and it shows that in those places or those states these types of animals are there. Lion, a picture of lion represents that in a particular place like Gujarat, lion is available. Periyar, you can see elephant. Next line is topographic maps. A topographic map shows the different geographical features in a detailed manner with the help of lines called contour lines. Only just you go through it, what do you mean by topographic maps. Next is road maps. Road maps show highways and roads, airports, railway tracks, cities and other landmarks of business or tourist interest. So this is very important. See, this is just a Maharashtra is highlighted. It is highlighted like a, see, represented a line over there. South Central Railway, Secunderabad, then Central Railway, Mumbai, third one Western Railway, Mumbai, Konkan Railways. So they have used some a line and a small red line, black, and they have used to represent the various road maps. Maharashtra tourism, this is the Maharashtra, they represented using various symbols like a pilgrim center, archaeological site, national park sanctuary, they used a flower symbol, other important place they used another symbol. So for various things they use different symbols. Okay. Next slide. So people use on trips and for driving directions, they use road maps. So it is easy to find out the exact way or exact position. Navigation application, now in most of the mobiles, Google Map is there. You can find the particular location, you can send to your friends and who are the people who require the places, the location can be sent. It helps the travelers to reach a particular place easily. So it is very easy to find out. Globe maps and direction. In some big colonies, maps are displayed at the entrance gates. This helps people to find out the house they want to visit without difficulty. Yeah, when you see that near to the flats and all, map represents where is the which flat, you can just have a check on it and you can move to the particular destination. Hospitals also display a map for the convenience of patients and visitors also. Important elements used in maps. Yeah, next is scale is very important, that is 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometer. A map is always drawn to a scale with regard to actual ground distance. Yes, very important is scale, it has to be represented. 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometers. Next, important elements used in maps, that is direction, north, south, west, east. 4 major directions are north, east, south and west. Directions, and they use the letters north for N, east for E, south for S and west for W. Next slide. Facing the map north, that is N, top portion, that is the top portion you can see. Then east for E, that is right hand side. It comes the right hand side, that is east. Next is south, that is the bottom portion opposite to the north. Opposite portion is the north. Then last is west, which comes in the opposite of the east, that is left hand side. North, south, east, west. It comes, we can see that's the India political map. Next slide. The sun rises in the east. Next slide. Yes. You can stand in front of the sun, facing the sun. You will be facing, yes, east, back, you can see the west, left arm is east, yes, right arms to south, east, west, north and south. You can see the image. Facing to the sun is east, right to north. Next. colors is very important elements used in maps. The colors used in the maps is very important. These are the route maps, okay? Next is the forest. River, lake, waterfall is represented in a blue color. You can see blue lines over here on the map. Forest area is represented through green. Forest area, there is vegetation. White, ICR polar regions, that is snowfall. You can see Srinagar, which is covered with ICR polar regions, we say. Okay. Next line. Colors. Contour lines. We are just going in not detail, just go through it, okay. Yeah, the minor routes, trails and structures are used for these types of lines. The latitudes and longitude lines are used through the red lines. Yes, narrow lines are used. Next is symbols. Yeah, symbols also is very important. In maps, symbols are meant to provide information about the geographical location of places like temples, church, bridges or road, etc. See, temple is represented by a small building. Yes, it is represented through a red in color. Bridge, you can see another shape. Yes, then church is represented in a black color. So, if you see on this map, you can see where are Kedarnath temple, then where is the bridge, then St. Andrew's Church. You can locate where it is. Okay, next slide. Temple, church, bridge. Just recapitulation. Then highways, national highways represents. Then some symbols are given below. You can just go through these symbols also. Many symbols are there on the maps we use, okay. Peak, stream, forest land, marsh area, well, unlined, well, lined. Then temple, mosque, church, hospital. We use a blue symbol where a small bed is there and a cross sign is there. Then plus sign is there. Fire brigade, morn, it is used there. Then state capital symbol is there. Other towns, green symbol is symbolized. Post office PO, railway station RS is used. Police station PS and public schools they use a symbol called S. Then for other roads and all, meter gauge, broad gauge. Level crossing also is very important. In the railway side also, railway crossing you can see. International boundary it is used. Then metal road, bridges, settlement, pass, fort, bus stand very important, taxi stand, petrol pump. So when you go to the petrol pump, just you see where you can see these symbols and all. Okay. So a book containing a collection of maps of different parts of the globe is called an atlas. A book containing a collection of maps of different parts of the globe is called an atlas. You can, I think 5th standard you are having atlas book, no? Yes, you can have different, just you can go through the different maps over there. Political, physical, everything is included. In detail, it is given in detail. Okay, next we will go to the next section. That is textbook. We will see how much we have gone completed. Know your planet, e-book, your textbook. Wait a minute. textbook is not opening. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. I hope we have completed almost all the portion of the first chapter. Wait a minute, there's a technical problem. I'm going to finish. Okay. In your notebook, what you have to do is, see, I think you can see this image. Wait, I'll let you know. In your classwork notebook, you have to do the various things. Okay. First, that is, draw a globe and color it. First page, what you have to do is draw a globe and color it. Okay. Next one, what you have to do is words to know. Explain in one or two sentences. Sphere, continents, oceans, globe, map, atlas, the scale of the map. It is there in the textbook. It is well defined and it is explained. You can just write in one or two sentences or one or two lines is enough. Okay. It should be written in the second page. First page, you have to draw a globe and you have to color it. Second page, you will write, that is words to know. You can give the heading and this will be sent to the parents app. Okay, so that it will be clear to you. Then C is the tick the correct answer, that is refer page 13, it is there. D is write true and false, that also is there in the page number 14. That is the exercise you will be doing based on the chapter, because we have completed the entire chapter. Okay, tomorrow we will have a recapitulation, plus you will complete these things in your notebook. That is clear to you? It will be sent to the parents app. It will be sent through the parents app, and